Welcome to the EOB Podcast, where we talk about the weekend box office and the new openings this week. I'm Ben No, and joining me is Sane Duong. So Sane, welcome back to the podcast.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah, I believe that this is gonna be what? It could be our final podcast together, maybe.
Sure, it could be.
It could be.
We'll see.
Yeah, because you have some other opportunities that came your way, right?
Yeah.
So, this could be our final podcast unless we work something out,
Yeah.
All right. So, I guess if it is, then what a good way to end it, right? Because we have, 5 wide releases last weekend at the box office.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right. They threw everything in because there is a schedule. And I guess the biggest movie, quote unquote big, right, is the Pacific Rim sequel, Pacific Rim Uprising. Which is eye-opening, I guess, to me, but not to you. Okay, how about you bring us in, and we can talk more about Pacific Rim.
All right, not surprisingly, at number 1 is Pacific Rim Uprising, pulling 28 million over the weekend. It pushed Black Panther out of the top spot.
Wait. I'm gonna let you finish, but hold on there, okay? It didn't push Black Panther out of the top spot. Black Panther merely fell naturally to the second spot.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Go on.
Yeah. So here's the deal. It cost 150 million to make. I think the first one cost 200 million, right?
I don't know. I think it's 100 some million as well.
I think it was closer to 200 million.
Okay. I'll go with you.
Let's just take a look.
All right.
Real-time research.
Our patented real-time research during a podcast.
We're the only one, I think, who does real-time research.
I'm sure a couple.
Nobody else does this. I think most people do it before their podcast.
Right. But we are real this way. We're keeping it real.
Yeah, we're using the latest technology. Real-time. Everything is real-time.
Right.
So real-time research. Let me see. Pacific Rim.
You're right.
190 million.
That's huge. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What does this mean?
They put in 150 million, which means they're still pretty optimistic, but not as optimistic as the first film. But still, 150 million is still pretty optimistic. Worldwide, overseas they pulled in 122.5 million for a worldwide opening weekend total of 150 million, which is pretty damn good, despite disappointing slightly domestically. Well, I'm not sure if it's disappointing because most people weren't expecting this to open as well as the first film anyway. Except you, right?
Yeah, right.
Let me see. The first film opened to 37 million. So what were our predictions?
Okay, all right. So here's the meat of the matter, right?
Yeah.
Let's go with you first. You said 25 million opening, which is right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said 40 to 45.
Okay. You were giving it the Star Wars bump.
Okay, here's the deal, right? I said that the first movie, even though it opened disappointingly at the domestic box office, right? I thought that hey, they greenlit a sequel, which means people liked it on home video, DVD, whatever, and that they like what they saw, right? So that means I said they gain new fans because of that. The long tail. With the home video, a secondary market, whatever, right? I said audiences are primed for the sequel. It turns out not so.
Well, you were kind of right, but at the same time, most of the impetus for a sequel was because of how well it did in China. On a domestic level, they would not make a sequel based on just that alone, even though it opened at 37 million, which was not bad, but it ended up only making about 100 million, which is kind of less than 3 times the opening. And it was decently well reviewed. I don't think people were super excited about it.
Yeah, here's the thing though, but my opening projection is not that much higher than the first movie. The first movie opened to what 37 million. Mine's only a couple million above that. I thought, hey, it could pick up new audience. Maybe a couple million here and there, and it's right there. But it fell instead. So people even care less about the sequel. You know what I'm saying? with only a 28 million opening.
Yeah. Well, part of it is because the whole cast the film is pretty much recasted, and all the behind the scenes people were different. Like Guillermo del Toro, I think, directed. So it does feel a little bit like, hey, this is kind of one of these sequels made to cash in off of the first film.
Right. And I said that this movie, the Pacific Rim series, is kind of like reminiscent of the monster movies, like the Godzillas, right? And those movies typically don't do well, right? But then again,
lately they done okay. I mean, they haven't, like the Godzilla movie did around 200 million domestically. Even King Kong kind of surprised people. Well, the expectations weren't high. I think King Kong did like what, 150 or something like that, around there. So they weren't bad. They weren't like these 400 million blockbusters, but they have a sizable audience. And Pacific Rim kind of seemed like a Godzilla spin-off type of thing. Not the Godzilla itself, but more of a spin-off.
Yeah. Well, it seems like Pacific Rim is more like these monster movies than Transformers.
It has an
right?
audience. It has a special core audience that likes it a lot, but it didn't grow beyond that crowd.
Right. But then again, you see, like I say, you see the Transformers movies doing so well. They're giant robots.
But even those were diminishing returns, though. The last one didn't do that well.
Right, but the previous couple did well.
Yeah, but it's still, the returns were diminishing since Transformers 2.
Okay, so I guess there is no, outside of Transformers, there's no really real appetite for giant robot movies.
So people were kind of already tired of Transformers. I mean, especially by the last one, they pretty much didn't care, other than your Transformers completists.
Yeah, diehard fans. Yeah.
Yeah, who's gotta watch the latest one just out of completion's sake.
Or maybe even like Michael Bay fans. There are those.
Yeah, like me. I'm both of those. but anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, Pacific Rim 2, it reached its core audience, but not much beyond that.
Right.
But hey, worldwide it's already grossed as much as its budget in just one weekend.
Yeah, we know that this will be huge overseas because of the first movie, right. Especially in the Asian areas, because of the animes that they're no strangers to giant robots and fighting all these gigantic creatures as well. So
right. So we'll see how much more it does in the upcoming weeks overseas. I think domestically it's gonna probably drop pretty quickly like the first one, but overseas it could, by how well it's doing now, it could eventually overtake the worldwide gross of the first film.
I guess, which is good for the Pacific Rim franchise in general, but not for the franchise domestically. I mean, again, these movies are again, we're seeing increasingly made for the overseas market. When this is, as you said, the U.S. is the secondary market in some cases now.
Right. Yeah. I think how much did they did in China, like 60 or 65 million. So that's nearly twice as much as the U.S.
Yeah, I don't think they listed it yet, but I'm sure it opened there already.
It opened there over the weekend. Oh, it pulled in 70 million. 65 million. So more than twice as much as the U.S. So and it was made mainly for the China market because the first one did pretty well in China.
All right, we will see if more Pacific Rims will come our way, right? But I guess Guillermo del Toro has washed his hands of this franchise now since he got his Oscar, and he's he could write his own checks now, right?
I'm not sure if he washed his hands of this franchise. He really wanted to make a second one. It's just that XXX got in the way.
Yeah, but for the good, right? Him.
Yeah, for the good. Yeah, obviously for the good.
Yeah.
So it was God's intervention or whatever it is to get him his Oscar.
Yeah,
it's like, you're too talented for that. You're too talented for this stuff. Get your Oscar, then make a part 3.
Right.
Or not.
he comes back and save the franchise, right?
Yeah.
All right, there you go. God has a plan for him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to number 2. As I said previously, right? Black Panther came in number 2 because it fell from the top spot
Yeah.
instead of Pacific Rim grabbing it from the top spot.
Right.
It pulled in about 16.7 million over the weekend. Drop off is again about 38%. Domestic gross 630 million. Worldwide is at 1.2 billion.
Yeah, so it's right now the highest grossing comic book movie of all time.
Yes, domestic.
Yeah, domestic. And it's also the highest grossing movie of the year. Or last year. When did it open? Did it open last year?
It opened this year.
When was this year? Right. Yeah, I mean, Star Wars opened last year.
Yeah. Again, no one predicted that Black Panther will be the highest grossing superhero movie of all time, right?
Yeah, I think most people were thinking if this does 200 million total, it was solid as the first film of the franchise, but it became the highest grossing superhero comic book movie of all time. So pretty amazing and continuing to break records.
Yeah, it's still going. Look, this is already in the 6th weekend, and the drop-off is against the 40s. And we expect the same next weekend as well.
Yeah, yep. And it's gonna, let's see what kind of records is it heading for. I think it's heading for Titanic's record or the last Jurassic World record.
I'm not sure if any movie can break Titanic's record in the near term.
Oh, Titanic? No, it's already been broken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Titanic. We're talking about, if you want records, we're talking about The Force Awakens.
Okay, all right. Let's see. All time.
So, yeah, okay. So Black Panther is heading for, Jurassic World and Titanic's record. It's not going to get to Avatar at its current pace, but it's still a huge achievement.
Yes.
So it looks like maybe in a couple more weeks, it'll beat Titanic. It'll be the third highest grossing film of all time domestically.
All right, yeah. One for the record books. Let's see. The top one right now is The Force Awakens, right? Domestic.
Yeah, at almost $1 billion. 937 million.
Yep. Avatar's number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Titanic's number 3. 4 is Jurassic World, and 5 is Black Panther. Wow.
Yeah.
Again, here's the thing, right? Titanic has been open was open back in 1997, and I guess through various re-releases, it has a cumulative effect. But still, it's still amazing, right?
Yeah.
For a movie released back then.
Yeah. Yep.
To still have a spot in the top 5.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Let's get back to our top 10.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know what the thing with Black Panther is, in the Marvel universe, Iron Man has always been the guy who holds everything together. The new, it might be now Black Panther has a bigger role, maybe. Right?
No. I think it's still Iron Man, but I guess like we said previously, Black Panther has a cultural significance. Because of the.
But I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is talking about retiring from the role sometime.
Mm-hmm, sure.
So once he retires from the role, maybe Black Panther might be the guy who's the head.
Maybe, but I suspect that for narrative purpose, I think they might give that to Captain America, or maybe even Black Widow. I mean, Black Panther, you will still have an outsized role, right? But I guess for the iPad,
because you know how like in DC, some of the newer posters put a Wonder Woman front and center, and then Batman and Superman are kind of like on the side.
Yeah, sure, but that's bait and switch, right? That's bait and switch.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But eventually, that's what I'm saying. Because Black Panther is doing so well, eventually it might end up being Black Panther is going to be front and center, and everyone's also going to be like on the sides.
It's very possible from a marketing perspective, right? I mean, even though like in the narrative sense, he might not play that big of a role, right? But who knows, right? They could make it
because in the Marvel universe, Iron Man wasn't the head guy.
Well, he is
right, but because it did so well, he's became the head guy of the Avengers. Mm-hmm. But remember, because in the Marvel universe, Iron Man is kind of like a B-grade character.
Sure, but he's the guy with the money, right? But he's the guy with the money, so it's easy to slide him in that role. Depending on how they do it. I mean, Black Panther is also a guy with the money, right?
Yeah, he's the king.
Right, and he has some
of an entire country.
He has some minerals or whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
That everyone wants.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, yeah, possible bump for Black Panther, him becoming the glue of the Marvel cinematic universe. Maybe
Yeah.
taking over from Iron Man should he retire, by Robert Downey Jr. So who knows?
Yeah.
Since his movie did so well.
All right.
All right, let's move on to number 3. I guess it's really the surprise movie.
Yeah.
You know, the faith-based film I Can Only Imagine is a biopic about the lead singer for the Christian band Mercy Me. It pulled in 13.8 million. Drop off is only about 19%. It opened to about 17 million. And
Right.
you know, this movie we both weren't very high on, but it opened well and it held on.
Yeah, but we preface it by saying we don't know when these movies break out.
Yes, yes,
We did say it could very well break out,
yes, yes. And
and it did break out.
right, and the movie after 2 weeks has grossed 38 million.
Yeah, on a budget of just 7 million.
Yeah, and you know, we suspect this movie might be big because you know, it is about it's not exactly about a Christian theme, whatever, right? Not about Jesus Christ or whatever. It's about a band, you know, the band, the singer, the life of the singer who happens to you know, be Christian, right?
Right. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to number 4. How about you bring us in?
At number 4 is Sherlock Gnomes. It pulled in 10.6 million over the weekend, which is very disappointing because the first film opened to what, 25 million, or is it 28?
25.
25 million. And this film has a budget of 60 million. So it's not good.
No. Okay. I think for this week, you're actually pretty close. You said the movie would open to about 15 million, and I said 25 to 30 million.
Yeah, so you're giving it a sequel. You're giving both of these films a sequel bump.
Well, I think because you know, the movies were well reviewed. I mean, the prequels, right, were well reviewed. It generated good box office. I thought, hey, you know, people might look at this and say, hey, they want to watch it. And I said, you know, this is the family film that people would bring the kids to because of spring break and all, right?
Yeah, but no.
Okay. I blame this box office take on the marches.
The marches?
The marches, you know, the gun control, the students.
Oh, no. It's just that it's been so long. Sherlock Gnomes.
Right. But that's the joke right there, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
They're out there protesting and they're not in theaters watching Sherlock Gnomes.
Right. But yeah, pretty disappointing figure.
Yeah.
Because the first one did it do 100 million?
It did close, 99 million. It's right there.
And then it did like what, 200 million over?
Yeah, about 190.
Worldwide.
Yeah, 193 million worldwide.
Yeah. So this one is not looking good at all.
No, look, it has Johnny Depp doing the voice, James McAvoy, Emily Blunt, Maggie Smith, Michael Caine, you know, like A-listers doing the voices for this movie, and it only managed to pull in about 10 million opening weekend.
Yeah, and the reviews are horrible, 20% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Right. As you said, yes, as you say, too long between movies, and people who watched it might have outgrown this. And who knows, right? It could be the spring break phenomenon where they went on trips instead of going to theaters. Who knows?
Well, this is targeted at more younger crowd.
Yeah, still.
People on spring break wouldn't be watching this.
well, you know, there's off.
Teens, yeah,
right.
Kids
Right.
Kids on spring break will watch this.
Yes.
All right, moving on. At number 5 is Tomb Raider. Pulled in 10.4 million over the weekend at a drop off of 56%. Pulled in 42 million after 2 weeks on a budget of 94 million. Let's see what the worldwide total is. The worldwide total is already at 212 million, so they already broken even.
Doing pretty good worldwide, but just the domestically, just Tomb Raiders just haven't taken off. You know, with this reboot.
Yeah. So domestically not up there, but worldwide it's doing really well.
Yeah. So I guess this reboot is going well on a worldwide basis. I think we'll see more Tomb Raiders, But just expect more. I guess that as you said, right? This movie is targeted toward the worldwide market, Asia particularly.
Mm-hmm. Yep, with Dan Wu.
Yep, with Dan Wu. And think it'll close out at maybe 60 million, 65.
Yeah, domestically.
Yeah.
Yeah. But worldwide, we'll see if it gets to 300 million, which it probably might.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
If it gets to 300 million, that's not bad. They'll probably crank out a sequel, maybe.
Yeah, I think they will. I mean, look at the Resident Evil movies, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It didn't do that good here, but hey, it did really well overseas, and they cranked out I think 6 of them or 7 of them. I forget how many.
Right.
Because of the overseas market.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to number 6, A Wrinkle in Time. It pulled in 8 million over the weekend. 50% drop off. Domestic gross is 73 million. Let's see. The budget is over like a 150 or so, right?
Yeah. So it's gonna lose money unless it does really well overseas. But overseas so far, the figure is only about 14 million. But it hasn't been released that wide yet.
Okay. Supposedly the budget's only about 100 million.
Oh, okay. If it's just 100, it won't be. It's not too bad. It's just that to pull in another 100 million overseas.
Yeah, and
a bit more.
Yeah, I believe they spend. I heard they spend 150 million marketing the movie. I think.
Oh, okay. 150 million, including the marketing.
I don't know. It could be that much marketing. I'm not sure, but
yeah, I don't think so.
All right. So including marketing is 150 million. So it's still. Maybe. But overseas it hasn't opened that wide yet. But it's not looking good, right?
Yeah. No. So good. Yeah. Disappointing so far. Mm-hmm. It's not a complete utter bomb.
Not yet.
Looks like you'll probably make like 90 or even close to 100, maybe 90 million
domestically.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it'll probably do 90, a little bit more than 90.
But it's dropping like a rock though.
Still, it'll probably 90.
Okay. All right. We'll see. All right. Okay. Moving on to number 7 is Love, Simon. Pulled in 7.8 million over the weekend. Domestic gross is about 24 million. Budget is 17.
Yeah, they got a modest hit here. It's holding on decently well. The drop off is only 34%. So it'll probably make like 35 to 45 million depending on how well it holds up in the following weeks. But a modest hit.
Yeah, it did okay. I mean, I don't think we were that high, or I wasn't that high in the movie, but it opened better than I expected it to open to. It held on.
It's super well reviewed too. 91% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It held on really well. Only the drop off is about 34% from the previous weekend. But it didn't open that high. That's the problem.
And if you compare it to some of the previous films, similar theme films about not opening about gay people, it's doing pretty well, better, right?
Yeah. At least this one, it opened like really wide, over 2,000 theaters. And
it didn't get a platform release like Call Me by Your Name and Moonlight. I think both of those films only ended up making around 20 million total at the box office. So this one's doing a bit better.
Not by much, but a bit better. I mean, as long as it can hold on, I guess it could probably close out at maybe 30, 35.
Oh, it'll definitely make more than 35 at the way it's going. Definitely in the 40 range.
Okay.
It might even get to 50 million.
I'm not sure.
Right.
That'd be tough.
Yeah. It's possible. It looks like it's kind of holding up decently well.
Okay, moving along to number 8 is Paul, Apostle of Christ. It's one of the new releases last weekend. Pulled in about 5 million over the weekend.
Yeah, on a budget of 5 million. So.
Okay, and here's the thing. I said the movie would open to 11 million, and you said 8. So again, you were closer this week.
Yeah. Again, like we said, these movies are hard to predict. They rarely support two at the same time. This time they chose to support, I can only imagine, the Christian crowd.
Right. And I said 11 million because the previous movies by the people who did this one like War Room and Risen, they kind of, those movies opened to around 11 million. So I said, why not? This could do 11 million as well.
Yeah.
So
no.
No. Paul, he's not the favored apostle, it seems.
Right.
Okay, and number 9.
Game Night put in 4.2 million over the weekend, holding up well even though these are low figures. Drop off of only 26%. Put in 61 million domestically so far, and it's one of those modest hits that surprised a lot of people. And the worldwide figure is 95 million on a budget of 37 million. So pretty good.
Yeah. Not much more we can say. All right. How about you close out number 10?
Okay, and number 10 is Midnight Sun, put in 4.1 million over the weekend. What was Midnight Sun about?
It's one of those teen romance movies about a girl who has this condition, who can't be exposed, who has life-threatening
to sunlight.
Yeah, sensitivity to sunlight, so she can only come out at night.
Yeah, and it stars Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Arnold's son.
We believe.
I think so. Yeah, he's on Twitter.
Okay.
He's on Twitter.
Come support my son. I can't do his accent. Come support my son. Midnight Sun movie, whatever.
Oh, that's pretty good. It's not bad.
Trust me, I couldn't get a job doing his voice. Okay, so that's I guess it's Patrick's debut film, right?
I don't know. That's a good question. We should do some real-time research.
Real-time research, okay. Let's do some real-time research into Patrick Stewart's filmography.
Patrick Stewart?
Oh, not
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, Patrick Schwarzenegger. No, it's not. Well, let's see. No, it's not his debut film. He was in other movies. Classics like
any of them?
No, but classics like The Benchwarmers. He played Jock Kid Game number 3, and the movie in 2012, Stuck in Love, Glenn. Hey, Grown Ups 2. He played Frat Boy.
Okay. So no big roles.
No big roles, but promising roles, right? Remember, you played a background dancer, so don't disrespect, Frat Boy.
Oh yeah. No, I'm totally not disrespecting.
Right.
But
Don't play Frat Boy.
This is his first film with top billing.
Right. And then he was in Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. A guy called Jeff, and others. So, okay, he might follow his father's footstep into action movies, who knows, right? But Midnight Sun, I guess, is more, it's as a lead role, right? Him in a leading role, actor.
Yeah. We'll see. He has his dance looks, although
without the muscles.
Not as muscular, but we'll see. Maybe because of that, he'll focus more on acting instead of action.
Right. Did we set our projections for this movie yet?
I think you were pretty right. I think you said
no. You were actually pretty right. Okay. Again, I was, for some reason, I was high on last week's movies.
Okay.
Maybe because of spring break again, but who knows? Okay, I said it would open to 8 million, and you said 5, and yeah, there you go.
I was right on the mark.
Yeah.
I guess not too bad for. I don't see the budget being super high, but so not too bad for his first top billing role, but it's also not eye opening. It just kind of came and went. Didn't completely bomb, but not memorable.
Right, but then again, right, when you first heard about the movie and you said, hey, haven't we seen that? Wasn't there another movie kind of like that? There was, right?
Yeah. And the whole movie, the reviews were pretty not very good either. 21% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't bomb, but it didn't make a good impression either. I think we talked enough about Midnight Sun. What about the other movie?
Yeah, honorable mention. Coming in number 11, one of the new releases is the Steven Soderbergh's new movie, Unsane.
Soderbergh.
Oh, Soderbergh. Okay. Pulled in about 3.9 million, open to over the weekend, and this is a movie that we're both kind of both on. Right? I say 3 to 5 million. You say 3 million.
Yeah, it was somewhere in between. We have decent reviews. Just like we said previously, not one of those films that has a premise that would draw in a lot of people.
No, but still, right? Steven Soderbergh, still a name, but his recent movies are not made, I guess, uh, for the general audience, I guess, or not mainstream, I would say, not for the general
Yeah,
audience, but not mainstream. And
yeah,
this is another one of them, and I guess yeah, we were pretty close on the opening figure.
right. We should probably mention Isle of Dogs.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, that is Wes Anderson's new stop motion movie about dogs in Japan who were exiled to an island because I guess the president in Japan preferred cats
Okay, yeah,
or something like that.
right.
But his the president or or the king, his nephew, his dog was swept up in this exile, and then the kid flew to this island to search for his dog, and a team of dogs tries to help him to find his dog.
Right,
Something like that.
sure.
Yeah.
And of course, being a Wes Anderson film, he called in a few of his friends to do the voices.
The usual suspects like
Yeah,
Edward Norton, Scarlett Johansson, Harvey Keitel, Frances McDormand,
yeah.
Bill Murray, hey, Greta Gerwig,
Yep, who got kind of snubbed, right, at the
yeah,
Oscars.
yeah,
But
yeah.
hey,
Bryan
okay.
Cranston,
Mhm,
Jeff Goldblum, Scarlett Johansson. I probably mentioned her twice.
mhm.
Tilda Swinton, so Frances McDormand. So lots of very good actors
Sure. Let
and
me let
actresses.
me mention Scarlett Johansson again because you couldn't mention her enough times, right?
Oh, okay.
All right,
Sure. All right.
all right.
So it pulled in 1.6 million over the weekend on just 27 screens, with a per screen average of nearly 60,000, which is kind of like how what he normally Wes Anderson's limited releases usually open to, so very high on a per screen average level. So it might do as well as his other films. It'll probably get a platform release, eventually open wide and make 30 to 40 million.
Yeah, and unlike Steven Stoltenberg, right? Wes
Yeah.
Anderson's movies, usually do better. uh,
On average, they
right,
usually.
right. I
I
think
mean, they usually they're consistent and dependable. They usually make anywhere from 30 to 50 million. But Steven Soderbergh, when he has a hit, can make over 100 million.
right. But I'm just saying, Soderbergh, right? His movies are more, I would say, kind of challenging, more challenging.
Well, lately he's been more attracted to doing more challenging experimental works rather than commercial works.
Yeah, like the subject matter or not
Yeah,
people, what people want to watch, right?
yeah. The premise isn't
Right,
super appealing to a wide audience.
right.
But yeah, Isle of Dogs. The reviews are great though. 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. So very good review so far. Although our former Rotten Tomatoes co-worker, who's now with LA Times, Jennifer Yamato, didn't really like the was it cultural appropriation of the film.
Wait, so she give the movie a run or whatnot?
Oh, I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
Just didn't like the cultural appropriation.
Okay, all right. Okay.
And Justin Chang from wait also at LA Times now felt the same way. Although he likes the majority of the film, he just didn't like some of the cultural appropriation that even though it takes place in Japan and is that the Japanese people were still felt like foreigners in a movie that that's about the Japanese people and about the land and the culture,
Okay. All right.
something like that. This and even though he liked a lot of most of the film, like most Wes Anderson films, it looks fantastic and you have all these quirky, interesting characters and the craftsmanship is top notch. But he felt like it's one of those things where even though it takes place in Japan, it's about Japanese people. The film still made him feel like foreigners.
Okay. Or he could be one of those cat people.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
All right, yeah. So a movie to keep an eye on because it's getting a platform release, and like other Wes Anderson films, it's gonna do modest.
Yeah, modestly well.
Yeah. All right. How about we move on to the new releases? We have the new Steven Spielberg movie, Ready Player One, and then that one's opening on the 29th, I believe, Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
a weird, strange day to open, which means it's gonna have midnight screenings on Wednesday.
Yeah. I guess they
kind of a weird play, right? Must be one day ahead of what movie, right? What movie is it afraid of?
It's afraid of God Is Not Dead 3. That's what it's afraid of.
Yeah, that's true.
It's moving out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. And then there's God Is Not Dead 3 and Acrimony also releasing.
Right.
Okay. Speaking of God Is Not Dead 3, let's talk about that before we move on to the bigger ones.
Alright.
It's the third movie in this franchise.
Mm-hmm. Let's see how much the previous. I think
I got
even the second one did pretty well too.
Oh, I got that data right here. Okay, the first movie had a 9 million opening.
Hey! Are you gonna? That's our thing. Real time research.
All right.
You can't be doing
real time research. All right.
All right. Go ahead.
Real time research.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the first movie opened to 9 million, 60 million domestic, right? Second movie opened to 7.6 million and 20.8 million domestic.
Right. And since they were happy with the first film making only a third of the second film only making a third of the first film, they were happy enough to crank out a third one, which means the budget is super low.
Yes, the first movie, the budget is only 2 million. The second movie couldn't be, that much different from the 2 million. I don't think the third is that much different as well.
Right. And if it can make 20 million, they're happy.
That's why we're seeing sequels.
Yeah. So what are you thinking?
I think it's gonna drop as well as you said, right? That this Christian group won't support that many movies at one time.
There's currently 2.
Right.
One every single week, right? In the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, because Easter's approaching, right?
Right.
I think it could have like a 5 million opening.
Yeah, that seems about right. Because based on the previous 2 films' trajectory, 5 is probably about right. I agree with you. I concur.
Okay, that's good. So again, this is a movie that Steven Spielberg's movie moved to Thursday 4. Remember, he's a God-fearing man.
Yeah, right.
Right. So he's moving out his way. So this movie can succeed. So 5 million opening for both of us on God Is Not Dead 3. And I'm pretty sure we might see a number 4.
Yeah, because they're made so cheaply, and they're probably marketed pretty cheaply too, just by focusing on underground, marketing in the churches and the Christian group.
Yep. So.
All right. Should we move on to another movie that's like made by a guy who's a franchise unto himself?
Sure. Bring us in.
Tyler Perry's Acrimony. So it's another Tyler Perry production. It stars
Taraji P. Henson. Yes.
Yeah. So she's of what's the TV series?
I don't watch TV, so. But she was previously in Proud Mary, right? Her previous action movie. She was in Empire. Right?
Yeah, Empire. So she's been doing movies of late.
Yeah, Hidden Figures. She was in Hidden Figures.
Yeah, right.
Term Life, No Good Deed, Think Like a Man 2.
Oh, so yeah. So she's actually she's been consistently cranking out movies.
Right. So a stable of Tyler Perry.
Yeah. Proud Mary did okay, right? Not great, but okay.
It opened to about 10 million and 20 million domestically, so not great.
Yeah, what's the budget on that?
About 14 million.
Yeah, so kind of modest. They're not gonna lose money.
Yeah, so I guess in this one she stars as a woman scorned, right?
Yeah. Well, she plays a woman who is kind of a very strong character, as said in the trailer. She married this guy and kind of started being just the wife, the supportive wife, living behind him, and eventually he dumped her for a younger woman, and that's when the Proud Mary takes over.
Right.
And she starts plotting to kick his ass.
Yeah. So this is kind of like what's that movie with where like what's that movie?
I need more information.
Oh, in the 80s, where like they discover a boiled rabbit in one of the pots. I forgot her name. She was in 101 Dalmatians, and others.
That's the lead character. You mean Glenn Close?
Yeah, Glenn Close. Glenn Close. Let's see. Glenn Close. It was. Let's go back. Again, real-time research.
Yeah.
Fatal Attraction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Fatal Attraction. So it's kind of like that, except I guess she has a happier ending.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. The trailer didn't really grab me.
Well, she's they're putting her front and center in this movie, and again, I am not convinced that she is at that level yet, where she can draw in a crowd, an audience. As for her previous movie, right, like Proud Mary, she's supposed to be this, this badass character, assassin.
Yeah.
But she just doesn't give off that vibe in the movie.
Yeah.
This movie might be a bit closer to what she plays on TV. Maybe I haven't seen it. I guess it's more natural. And then Tyler Perry, as you said, is a one-man crew unto himself.
Yeah.
And his movies usually do pretty well.
Yeah. So what are you thinking?
It's kind of tough. Like I have to kind of go between the two, right?
Wait, did he directed this, or is this just something he produced?
No, he wrote and directed this.
Oh, okay. So it's good.
It's a Tyler Perry production.
Yeah, and you can never count him out.
You're right, but then again, this is
it's not one of his franchises, huh?
So it's not one of his franchises, and it, I guess, stars kind of an unproven lead actress, but I'm not sure if that plays anything into his movies.
Yeah.
But
most of his movies, I mean, she's kind of a decent draw, more of a decent draw than some of the actors in his previous films. Let's see.
But this is not one of these Medea movies. That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. So his previous non-Medea movie was the Single Moms Club, and that opened to 8 million and pulled in the 16 million total. So this might end up being one of those one of his non-franchise people movies.
Yeah, I think so too. So I'm gonna go with 8 to 10 million.
Sure. All right. I'll go. Yeah, I'll go with 8 to 10 too. Tyler Perry, Taraji Henson. That seems about right.
Okay.
On one of his non-franchise films.
Right. And we will see if that is right, because this is one of his non-Medea movies.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a well-worn genre too.
Yeah.
Right. We see one of these almost every year, or two of these every year. These are kind of like erotic thrillers, or so.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Ready Player One. It's the Steven Spielberg's latest movie.
And he went back into mass entertainment.
Sure. No message movie
this
here,
is not
right?
This is not an Oscar fight.
Yeah. So not an Oscar movie and not a message movie like The Post.
Yeah.
And more commercial, right? More
Yeah.
commercial movie. And it stars Tay Sheridan as I guess in a is it a post-apocalyptic world where people just
Is it Tay or Ty?
is it Tay? Either way, Tay. You say Tay, I say Ty. We one of us will be right.
All right, I'm going with Ty.
Okay, all right. And the people kind of pass their time, their days, nights, whatever, lives in this virtual world. They jacked in,
Right.
kind of like the Matrix, right? They jacked in, and they play this game.
Yeah. Except they know they're jacked in, like the first Matrix movie.
And it's a special effects extravaganza, right?
Yeah. The early reviews are pretty good. 83% on Rotten Tomatoes based on almost 60 reviews. It's almost kind of like his Avatar movie, but not as big.
Right.
What are you thinking? I want to see it. The trailer seems pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's another one of these nostalgic movies. Which other nostalgic movie opened lately? I guess Jumanji did pretty well, but that's not super nostalgic.
Yeah, this is one of these rare special effects movies that's not a superhero movie. That doesn't have The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
But it has Steven Spielberg, and it has all the 80s kind of cultural icons and iconic characters that WB has the rights to.
Okay.
So what number are you throwing?
I'm thinking.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe 45 to 50 million.
How many? How much?
45 to 50. It could be lower.
45 to 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's kind of because Spielberg hasn't before this he hadn't made any many super commercial type of movie. I guess his last one you would call would be Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, but The Adventures of Tintin tried to be one.
Yeah, it tried to be, but it's not. It's an animated film, so not his usual type of movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he kind of tried it with the BFG too. That was kind of disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it did okay overseas, it didn't domestically. They definitely probably lost money on that. So it's kind of hard to say if he can get his commercial mojo back, I guess, with this.
Yeah, well, he has always been a commercial filmmaker. It's just that he took a detour to other movies.
Yeah, making more serious films.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right?
And he's been successful. He won. His films have been nominated for Oscars and have won Oscars, so have been well reviewed, well regarded. So pretty good one. But of course, after a while, the studios are probably like, "Hey, when are you gonna make a big commercial movie?" And this is probably it. I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go 45 million.
45 million. Okay. Well, you mentioned
this
that.
This we kind of agree.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. But you say this movie is kind of a throwback, right? And I guess one of the worry is it has the times passing by.
Yeah.
So maybe the 45 to 50 million is is where his movies or commercial movies open to, unless he hit it big, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? It could open higher, right? We don't know. But I think I guess our feeling is that about there is right.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see how well Ready Player One does this coming Friday.
All right. Tune in.